saving power, the passion fills my heart. It fills me totally. All that matters is the Lord's command. All that matters is the work at hand. I am living for Jesus. Nothing else I'd rather do. He's the Savior of my soul. I am living
Thank you, Lord.
for Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
No one else can take his place. He's the lover of my soul. I've taken up my cross to follow after you. I will never be ashamed of the one who died for me. I've counted all the gods, but you are worth much more. Let my glory be of him who made me alive.
All right, thanks so much, Tucker. Does science point to God? According to one author, it does. In an article, Eric Metaxas writes, doesn't assuming that an intelligence created these perfect conditions require far less faith than believing that a life-sustaining Earth just happened. The article has generated almost 6,000 comments and more than 350,000 likes on Facebook, but not without some controversy. Here to explain, King's College senior fellow and the author of the book Miracles is Eric Metaxas himself. Thanks for being with us.
Thrilled to be here.
So in this piece, you took basically an excerpt from your book Miracles and expounded on it a bit. Outline your main points. Why does science point to God and not away from God?
Well, first of all, I didn't even plan to write about this. In the book Miracles, I tell about 30 miracle stories. And then I thought I should talk about science and miracles. So in the front of the book, I talk about science and miracles. And the main part of it, I get into this idea that the more science knows, the more amazed scientists are at how fragile and finely calibrated everything had to be for the universe to come into existence and then for the Earth to come into existence and have all of the elements to support life. 50 years ago, we thought, well, there's probably zillions of planets in the universe that have this. But the more time has passed, the more we've realized that it's just about impossible for all of these conditions to have just happened. Mathematically, it's off the charts impossible. So a lot of atheists are kind of freaked out that it doesn't make sense. They really believe that random forces would have led to this, but the more we know, the more it seems that it's impossible to believe.
Right, so you think that everything that has been created has a creator, and the Earth an intelligent creator rather than this Big Bang Theory. But some on the other side who are critical of you say things like this. Zach West said, this article is very shallow from a scientific perspective, and 90+% of the scientific community rejects intelligent design for a reason. How do you respond?
Well, I think they're confusing the terms. I mean, I'm not talking about intelligent design. That usually has to do with evolution. I'm talking about the elements that were necessary for the universe to come into existence. I'll give you an example. Christopher Hitchens, on the other side of the argument, when asked what is the most powerful argument for God, if you had to tell Christopher Hitchens, he said, without any doubt, this argument, the fine-tuning argument. And he said most of his colleagues would agree. So this is powerful evidence. You can't dismiss it because people like Christopher Hitchens say, no, this is a powerful argument. I don't know what to make of it. Many atheistic scientists are in the same boat. They say, I don't like where this is leading, but I have to acknowledge the facts. These are facts. And the main thing for me is that this information hasn't been out there in the mainstream. The Wall Street Journal article blew it out there. So people act like it's new information. It's been out there for a number of years.
And it's in your book, Miracles. So folks at home, check that out if you're interested. Eric Metaxas, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Anna.
I feel thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, 'cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory, 'cause I got sweet victory. Yeah. You see me live, I know you see me live. You can't tell on these CDs, but bro, I'm knee deep in it. I'm waiting in my weakness, he may be deep in it. I be lying through my teeth to say I don't resent it. Even as I write these lines, I'm close to tears. My body ain't been working right for 7 years. So miss me with that, keep your chin up, try to smile. Bro, I'm 26, I should feel better by a mile. Keep all your anecdotes and cute quotes. I'll pass on cliches for true hopes. I feel thorns where my crown was.
That this is the answer. Let me show you the answer. I know the answer. Let me tell you. Why don't you believe in them and just say, I believe this. Let me show you what I believe, what I've come to the answer, and make it what I believe was the original way of Christ. Because I think Christ was, if you see, he slammed on tables, he had an angry side, yeah? He was very lifelike, very human, no? And then he goes out, he goes further, and you could see things like how he was kind of a hippie, this and that. Now we've turned him into something...
Okay, who said he was a hippie, man? Like, I mean, hippie?
No. My opinion from,
The hippie days was in the 60s, right?
No, understood. But I mean, if today, the criteria of a stereotypical hippie in my eyes is he had this long hair, he didn't cut his hair. Today, you have a long hair.
Okay, where did you get that image of Jesus that he had long hair?
Did he not have long hair?
I don't know.
Well,
The image that you see, that's not Jesus. That's a white man with blue eyes that people say he's Jesus, but that's not Jesus.
okay, look, whatever semantics we want to get into, the point is that the images we have created with...
But it's not Jesus.
Okay, then now I know your opinion on that.
Well, it's not my opinion. Everybody knows that's not Jesus.
Then who is it?
That's a man that's supposedly representing Jesus, but nobody has a picture of Jesus.
Okay, now I understand how you see it. No problem.
But that's a fact.
No, well...
Hey, do you believe that picture
Nobody
is the
sees it
picture
like
of
that.
Jesus, that Anglo-Saxon-looking man with blue eyes when he came from Israel? Is that really Jesus?
I like that you turned the Anglo-Saxon for your...
No, but was that Jesus?
Well, I talked about the long hair. Let's focus point by point.
No, but I just want to know where you're getting this idea that Jesus had long hair.
Yes.
And you pointed to the images, and I said that those are not the images of Jesus.
Yeah, no, okay. When I gather information, I gather from all sources, whether it's political or religious.
Give me a source where Jesus had long hair.
Oh my goodness, that's very easy. Go to any church, you will see he has long hair.
Like I said, those images of Jesus, that's not Jesus.
I understood
Nobody
your
believes
opinion,
they're
but you
Jesus.
forgot that I don't necessarily go by what you say.
So the pictures in the church, that's the original picture of Jesus?
I never said that. You asked me the question, very simply, Lucas, if you don't mind. You asked me the question on how did you get to that conclusion that that's Jesus? Yes or no?
Well, I don't think that that's Jesus.
You don't, but you asked me. Right?
Okay, how did you get to the conclusion that the pictures in the church is the picture of Jesus? How did you get to that conclusion?
Not that it's even relevant to me personally.
No,
No,
I'm just asking a simple question.
I understand, but I said, and I will repeat it again. Many people, many different places that I've seen, everything that I've seen, the way I envision him, I've gathered all the source of information through my eyes, through my ears, through reading, and I've collected, and I'm not strict. I'm open to be wrong, not that it's relevant to me. I wouldn't take my information from you because I think you're too authoritarian personally, no offense, but I'm fine with you believing whatever you want to believe. But the thing is, that's how I've come to my conclusion. Not that that's relevant, his hair. My original point was that he was considered a hippie-ish character to today's standards because he had this long... No, it's fine.
Okay, wait a second. I mean, you said I'm arrogant because I have this stringent point of view and that I'm precise. I brought back to you you going to a doctor and doing the same kind of procedure. And you said they have a certain procedure for things, and that's how they come up with things. So now I brought it back to you.
No. I said something else.
Okay, what did you say about the doctors?
I also said that it's apples and oranges because one is more objective, which is easier to see.
Objective. How is it? How is he more objective from me?
Because what we're talking about is very philosophical. It's very old text. A lot of pages have been ripped up. Even the stuff that we know about it, you're not presenting it fully.
How does a doctor be objective in diagnosing you as to having this illness and giving you a prescription? How is he objective?
Sorry, are you going into mental illness specifically?
Any kind of illness. Like, I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm talking about any illness. How does a doctor come up with a stringent, specific solution or a problem that you have and give you a prescription and you accept that without calling him arrogant, and then for me, you somehow feel that I'm arrogant or too stringent because I have a point of view that's based on fact, and then I bring back to you, and you're telling me about this man with long hair, more of a hippie, and then you're basing it on a picture in a church.
Yeah, what's the problem?
With no historical basis, because everybody that has any education about the identity of Jesus knows that that's not Jesus. So your whole premise about things are not true. You're the fact that you're holding onto about Jesus having long hair is not true. So what I'm trying to say is, why do I say that that's not true? And what makes my opinions right is because I'm basing it on historicity and fact.
That wasn't my question.
No, but what I'm trying to say is the reason why I speak the way I speak, and I'm confident in the way I speak, is because what I speak has historical merit and facts behind it that I can prove my point objectively to you.
My question was very simple. Why is it, let's say you're 100 billion% correct. Why don't you believe in the people finding their own answer? Why do you have to, I know you're going to go to the Bible, you mentioned it already, even today. But I think I would take into consideration that you're not. I think we should be more real, that you're not 100% correct. You are a human, aren't you?
I'm a human, yeah.
Yeah. And even doctors make mistakes using your analogy. Yes or no?
They do.
Okay. So why is it, but would you say that, would you agree that it is apples and oranges comparing medicine to philosophical text in order to find the divine and find something higher than ourselves? Isn't it such a horrible example? It's almost like saying, well, I had to work 12 hours today on a carburetor, but you had to sit on the table. Why doesn't your back hurt the way mine does? It's such a horrible comparison.
Well, no. I mean, psychology is also known as a science, and science is, is just having the ability to find a certain knowledge through objectifiable lenses or by ways to prove something is true. And forgive me for my vocabulary. So you can do the same thing with God. You can do the same thing with history. You can do the same thing with anything that's real. If God is real, there will be proof of God. If God is false, then there won't be any proof of God. So the reason why I bring up and say things the way I do about Jesus is because there were eyewitness accounts of Jesus. His miracles are still happening today. His power is still available today. The stories that you see in the Bible, there's archaeological evidence for it as well. And so we know, based on archaeology, eyewitness accounts, historicity, and even prophetic accounts, things that have come to pass by other prophets, proving that there's a miraculous divine source to this book and to these stories. It proves the reality.
I feel like I'm not going to go to my grave disappointed, because just when I think that it's just me and my own strength trying to get this message out like Moses in an eloquent kind of way, can't quite get the words out the way that I want to get them out, then God steps in and he gives me strength, like this woman and the other woman I was talking to, and one of the ladies that I work with. and I'm able to encourage them. And, you know, they talk trash to me and stuff, you know, in a you know, feminist kind of way a lot of times, you know what I mean? Because this is where we're at. Like, every woman is a feminist before she actually understands what a woman is all about. You know what I mean? You have to actually educate yourself now to be a woman. It used to be where as long as the secular world leaves you alone, you're a woman. You know, but now it's like these kids are coming out. You know, I got little girls walking up to the window at my job going, duh? Duh what? Don't make me take my belt off, little girl. What are you talking about? Duh? Duh? Who are you? Who are you? Like, duh? Come up to the window, duh? You know, girl, you better. Where's your mama? You know, somebody get this little girl, you know. I mean, that's the way they're coming out now, you know. And then as they get older and they realize that you're going to be a lonely woman if you don't get that feminist thing corrected, okay? You're going to be a lonely woman. And that's why a lot of women are falling into, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to talk about LGBT tonight, I'm going to bed. But anyway, I just want to say I'm so excited. Because just when I think that I'm not doing it, I am doing it through Jesus Christ that strengthens me. Just when I think that what good can come out of D-Roy Cruz? What good can come out of this little midget potbelly, I should say, potbelly, old man, okay, who forgets why he's leaving the house and why he's coming in the house. Stuff just you know what I mean? I gotta write down, I'm surprised I don't forget my name the minute I walk out the door to work every day. I'm surprised I don't get on the wrong bus, okay? I've done that before too. I walk clear across town and say, wait a minute, what I walk all the way out here? I don't even walk for almost an hour. Where am I going? God loves me, but God loves you so much that he'll use the most annoying, noisome, pestering, person, like myself to get your attention. Anyone that's been...
All right, so I'm Jewish, born in New York City, 1955. My dad was the lead attorney in the New York Supreme Court. Mom and dad happily married. Moved to Long Island when I was 7 years old. But we were conservative Jews, which does not mean moral conservatism, social conservatism. It's just a branch of Judaism. But what I was raised in was not a religious Judaism. So we'd go for the high holy days.
Okay.
The synagogue would be packed out. We'd have several hundred go up, and I thought, these people, they're praying for me, because I found that out now.
Yeah.
And they think I'm like the worst of sinners. So I'll just go up just to do it. But my friends have been witnessing to me day and night for months, and we were talking gospel. Something was planted in my heart. As I said the words, confessing, I believe Jesus died for my sins and rose from the dead, I said, I actually do. I'm not just saying this. I believe it's true. And then the pastor said, and I promise to live for you the rest of my life. And I said the words, and I said, okay, God, I have a problem here. Because when I go home, I'm shooting cocaine. I'm doing that. And I'm using this other drug first, angel dust, PCP. I had the whole thing planned out. And I said, if you don't want me to, because I'm brand new, remember, don't know anything. If you don't want me to, when I put the drugs in my arm, don't let anything happen. And sure enough, I get home, I smoke a large dose of this one thing that should just almost floor you, and then shoot a large amount of cocaine, and nothing happens. For a second, my heart started to pound, and nothing. So I thought, okay, something's going on here. The next 5 weeks, I was in the battle for my life, shooting heroin one day, in church the next, back and forth. And finally, December 17th of 71, I went to a service. Now remember, I saw Led Zeppelin, I saw The Who, I saw The Grateful Dead, I saw Hendrix twice, I saw The Doors, I saw Janis Joplin, I saw Jefferson Airplane, all the bands. I lived for these rock concerts day and night for a couple of years now, right? And playing with my rock band. The loudest music you can imagine. Dazed and Confused, Purple Haze, right? Now I'm in this little church with a piano player. There's within my heart a melody. Jesus whispers sweet and low, and make me a blessing and blessed assurance. And I get overcome with a joy that was completely indescribable.
Nothing experienced at the rock concert.
And just like you have an accident and your life passes before you. Well, in a moment, I thought of all the highs, all the drug highs, all the music highs, all the highs just from friendship, from doing good, from sports, and I thought, this is qualitatively different. This must be what they call the joy of the Lord. And at that moment, I had this mental picture that I was filthy from head to toe, and Jesus washed me and cleansed me, put these beautiful white robes on me, and now I was going back out and playing in the mud. And I said, Lord, I will never put a needle in my arm again. And that was it. I was free.
That was it.
Completely free from that night on. 2 days after that, said, I'll never get high anymore. And then my dad said, Michael, it's great that you're off drugs, but we're Jews. We don't believe this. That led to dialogue with rabbis, which led to me learning Hebrew and hence getting the doctorate in Semitic languages so I could better interact and understand these things and have solid intellectual academic responses. But that's how the journey began.
That's how the journey began. What a story.
Thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, 'cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory, 'cause I got sweet victory. Yeah, toast to the king, cheers to the ceiling, feeling good. Sweet victory, you hear me? Alley, if you feel me. Yeah, we still running even though we limping. Yes, sweet victory, 'cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning. Even though we winning, we still in it. Yes, sweet victory, 'cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning, now we living. Sweet victory. They see me on the stage, they like that boy the man. They hear play on them songs, they clapping in them stands. They like, I bet you got a lot of them steps from rubber bands. So when I say it's been a hard few years, they think I'm playing. But you don't know my life, boy. You don't know my life, boy. You don't know what it's been like on my wife. Don't know my fight, boy. Been in them trenches, steady trying to fight my foes. And when I couldn't fight no more, you brought me low. I know I can't bear it. Feel thorns where my crown was. I'll be weak, but I'm alive from the dust until dawn. Yeah, I'll survive, 'cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory, 'cause I got sweet victory. Yeah. Toast to the game, cheers to the ceiling, feeling good. We gon' make it to the finish. Sweet victory, you hear me? Holla if you feel me. We still running even though we're limping. Sweet victory, 'cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning. Even though we winning, we still in it. Sweet victory, 'cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning, now we living. Sweet victory, yeah. They like, I hear you talking ways, but I see your losses. You celebrating crowns, but I see your crosses. That's the paradox, it don't fit in your mirror box. You might not understand it, you walk in this pair of socks. The victor ain't the one that's winning, 7th inning. Trophies don't go to